Why was the PlayStation 2 so successful? This is a question that every video game company has been asking themselves since the console's release back in March of the year 2000. The PlayStation 2 is still regarded as the best-selling video game console of all time, having sold over 155 million units worldwide, and with over 4,000 game titles at its disposal, the PlayStation 2 was a force to be reckoned with, and that's just putting it lightly. I was born in 1994, and growing up I can't recall one family member, neighbor, friend, or celebrity that I saw on TV that didn't show off having a PlayStation 2 in their home. It honestly became sort of a fashion icon for some people because not only could they play a vast variety of amazing video games, but at the same time it was one of the cheapest DVD players on the market. Initial sales of the console pulled in over $250 million on the first day, beating the $97 million made on the first day by the Sega Dreamcast, which at the time was the leading video game console. The success of the PS2 at the end of 2000 caused Sega major problems both financially and competitively, in which caused Sega to announce the discontinuation of the Dreamcast in March of 2001. In the early 2000s, the DVD format began to skyrocket and take over the old technology of VHS tapes, and this is where Sony took the chance at supporting the new hardware in hopes of helping drive sales of the new console. Obviously, this paid off tremendously for Sony because with its competitors being Sega, Microsoft, and Nintendo, none of them had a gaming console with a built-in DVD player. This gave Sony a huge advantage both in the gaming market and within the home theater market against its competitors. Now when talking about Sony's competitors, we have to talk about Nintendo's GameCube and the Microsoft's Xbox. Many analysts at the time predicted a very close three-way matchup among the three competing consoles, and the main reason for this prediction was due to the Xbox having the most powerful hardware out of the three, while the GameCube was the least expensive. Now the PlayStation 2 theoretically had the weakest specifications out of the three, but it had a huge head start due to its earlier release date, acquiring an installed player base plus a much stronger development commitment, and of course the already stated built-in DVD player, while the Xbox required an expensive adapter, which sounds familiar. And the GameCube lacked DVD support altogether. The PlayStation 2's initial game lineup was considered mediocre according to reviews and the game sales at the time. This all changed during the 2001 holiday season with the release of several blockbuster games that you may have heard of. This maintained PS2 sales momentum and continued to dominate its newer rivals. Sony also countered the Xbox by temporarily securing PlayStation 2 exclusives for highly anticipated games such as the Grand Theft Auto series and Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty. Sony originally gave little thought into online gaming during its first few years of being on store shelves, although that all changed upon the launch of the new online-capable Xbox. In order to counteract the sales of the Xbox, coinciding with the release of Xbox Live, Sony released the PlayStation Network adapter in late 2002, with several online first-party titles released alongside it, such as SOCOM US Navy SEALs, to demonstrate its active support for online play. Although Sony started out late with the idea of online play and had to follow a decentralized model of online gaming where the responsibility is up to the developer to provide the servers, Sony's move made online gaming a major selling point for the PlayStation 2. One setback was that an expensive network adapter was fully required for the original FAT models in order to play games online, while a brand new slim model of the PlayStation 2 was in the works and was released in September of 2004, which would include networking ports on the console. Another big reason the PS2 Online did so well was due to instead of having a unified subscription-based online service like Xbox Live that costed the ridiculous amount of $49.99 a year in the US, the online multiplayer functionality on the PlayStation 2 was the responsibility of the game publisher and ran on third-party servers, which in turn was free to the player. Another major bonus for being a PlayStation 2 owner was for the backwards compatibility for all PlayStation 1 titles. This was yet another advantage over its competition because the Nintendo GameCube couldn't play Nintendo 64 games, and the Xbox was the first of its kind. This also gave an incentive for owners of the old PlayStation 1 console to upgrade to this new generation without having to worry about losing the ability to play their favorite titles. In addition, the PlayStation 2 also still included the ability to play music CDs on the system, just as you could on the original PlayStation. I remember getting music CDs all the time as a kid for Christmas and birthdays, and all I wanted to do was show them off to friends and family by putting it onto the PlayStation and blasting in the living room TV speakers. I also remember spending countless dollars growing up on the ridiculous amount of accessories available at the time for the PS2. I got everything from the extra controllers to memory cards in order to save more games. You know, those 8 megabyte cards that you used to only be able to have about 12 game saves on until it got filled up. And then you'd have to decide on what game to delete in order to save your new game. So then you would just buy another memory card and you ended up with over 30 memory cards lying around the house. Yeah, it was fun times. I remember the crazy looking DVD remote that had over pretty much like a billion buttons apparently in order to make watching DVD movies on the console even more enjoyable. Okay. They also had this crazy cool PS2 stand so you could stand your console up on its side to flex on all your friends. I remember the online network adapter was so hard to find in stores because of how popular it was becoming to play online with your friends. A lot of people would go out of their ways to find one and even buy them used from bootleg sellers on the black market. Over the years, Sony tried to innovate even more features into the PlayStation, such as the inclusion of the PlayStation Eye camera, which was the first of its kind to implement motion tracking into video games, and honestly, I could make an entire video on just this device alone because of how innovative it was at the time. Another big accessory of the PlayStation 2 were all the music game controllers, such as the guitar controller and microphone for Guitar Hero and Rock Band. Over time, these technologies would be implemented in future installments of competitors' gaming systems, including the Nintendo Wii console with its motion capture controls, and the Xbox 360 Kinect, which used the same camera technology as what was in the PlayStation Eye. The PlayStation 2 is largely credited with bringing video games to the mainstream market, which catapulted what was once a niche market of the entertainment industry into the popular medium that we know today. Video games have always been popular, but during the PlayStation 2 era, they began to challenge Hollywood's dominance of popular mass entertainment for the first time. Cinematic experiences and deep film-like storytelling got its kickstart on the PlayStation 2 system, and to this day, modern video games still reflect the influences of the PlayStation 2. And that is why the PS2 was so successful. Thank you guys so much for watching my video on the PlayStation 2 system. If you'd like to share any memories you have of the system, I would love to read them in the comment section below. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to Thrasher de Blackstang. He is my first ever Patreon supporter. If you guys don't know, I do have a Patreon. I'll have a link in the description below. It's also on my channel. Everything that goes to the Patreon 100% goes towards this channel, and I want to make as much content as possible for you guys, but I also want to make it higher quality. So all the money from the Patreon goes to new equipment, new video ideas, you name it. You will also get special perks, so you will get a shout out in every one of my videos. You also get special perks on Patreon itself. You'll be able to hear new ideas, and you'll see the progress of my videos before anybody else. And who knows, maybe in the future I'll upload stuff just to Patreon that you won't even see on YouTube. So with that being said, thank you again so much, man, for the support. I love you. And as for everybody else, leave a like to show your support. It truly means a lot to me and it helps me out a ton. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll hopefully see you in the next one. Peace.